Established in 2020, the Author's Porch is a space for authors to share their literary works of art. Founded by CJ Ives Lopez, the Author's Porch puts authors first and becomes a premier destination for all at every level in their careers. When you join the Author's Porch, we want you to think of us as a beacon of light, bringing you home to a porch where your family is waiting to usher you into your greatness. From live cast to podcast, blog posts, and most recently, the magazine. The Author's Porch brings promotional services and advice to authors to get their writing published. Whatever the issue, the Author's Porch connects writers with the service desired to create their dreams into reality. Is ordinary people with extraordinary spirits show
people are doing extraordinary things.
Even when you're off duty. And it's
up to me. I have my family, and it
becomes the climate.
I had somebody from Mongolia.
Him not to respond, and he just replied.
One of the richest countries in the world.
I wouldn't say third world country, but actually underdeveloped countries.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Author's Porch. Me and Viki are so excited to be here with you. Today we have a very special conversation. We are doing a Trans-Pacific collaboration from Singapore to the United States. The Author's Porch in GDM Metropolis, once again, well, always, not once again, always, together talking humanity. This humanity project is bigger than us. It is a world thing. And I am so excited to have my fantastic friend, Viki Esther Chang, here with me. As always, we are so blessed to sit and have a conversation together, because every time we do, Viki, something amazing happens. How are you today?
Yes, and you're right, CJ. I mean, this is amazing, isn't it, CJ, for us to have known each other. And we are right here in Singapore at 9:22 p.m. On the 30th of October 2021, CJ. We are 13 hours difference. And this is amazing, isn't it, CJ, to be able to come to this virtual world, into this metaverse, like what Mark Zuckerberg say, come to a space where we can have this humanity without the physical world.
Yes, and that is one of the greatest things that humanity is allowing to happen now is we don't have to physically, and I said this for so many years, especially when you look back at World War One, World War II, where the soldiers would go off and fight, and the families would be back at home, and they would stay and they would wait for years until their soldiers came back. And then you fast forward to, you know, the Gulf Wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there were so many people going through hard times. And I would always say, you don't have to physically be present in somebody's life
Yes.
to still
Yeah.
care about them. And now we're seeing that. We're seeing that a physical presence doesn't have to mean that you don't have, that you can't still be connected. You're in Singapore, I'm in the United States, and we are still intricately connected. And I love that, because I would have never known the amazing human being you are had it not been for this metaverse, right? This new metaverse, which I am so excited. When that was announced on Facebook, I was like, okay, I'm totally in.
Wow.
I want Viki hologrammed into my office so we can have a meeting.
Exactly. You know, that was the first thing that came to my mind, that when we think about like the metaverse, you know, CJ, we as podcasters, we are already in the forefront of the frontier, the groundbreaking technology that we are already in. We are the technology. I mean, we live the technology. Can you imagine, CJ, we're talking this live on Facebook, broadcasting. Anyone who clicks on live button right now, they'll see us wherever they are. And it's going to your YouTube channel, and also your other channels in your physical, in your own Facebook personal page, and coming to my group page. It's like, and I was talking to my husband, wow, just think about that technology of podcasters. I mean, that technology brings us everywhere, and the technologies should serve humanity, and that's what we're doing right now, CJ.
That's the greatest thing, is that we are literally in people's homes. If you can imagine being in somebody's home, and the
handphones, and then on the beds.
Yeah, we're just hanging out in people's house.
On the beds, in the car, in the kitchen, in the toilet.
Yeah, and to some people that's a good thing, because, you know, sometimes you actually need to connect with people that normally you wouldn't be able to connect with. And I've actually connected with people that have helped me emotionally and personally, and in my business and my mental health journey, like Annette Wittenberger, who if you've had on your show, she's also the cover of the magazine. Dr. Moby, who is a fantastic human being and award-winning television host. I mean, had we not connected with so many people virtually, where would you be now? That's my question for humanity.
And you know, CJ, you have actually you know, be able to kind of encapsulate all we said and all we have done in 2021. I mean, we rolled out one of the most significant events on Facebook, right? You know, about bringing humanity across, just to really talk about certain important topics. But back to echo you, it is such a strange but yet exciting time for podcasters. We are using the technology to help other people like yourself, giving the light to authors, giving the light to people who we are with a story, right? Either fictional or documentary or business. You are giving light with that. And I was just saying that, you know what the Bible says is, should we just be the light and the salt? We don't have to do anything. We just be. And I think, CJ, meeting you, meeting Annette, Ralph Ave, and Dr. Moby in the depths of the pandemic 2020, that makes it so much more significant, because I think we became the light where the hope was being shattered, because we're talking about the world literally stopped in its tracks. The world, the whole earth axis actually stopped. And then we met And then we really came together. I met you, CJ, which I would like to take this opportunity to interview you also, like a cross interview, collaborative interview. When I first met you for the story, Comeback Story, because I wanted to talk about people's lives, and I still do. That's why I have a series with Annette and with Ralph. You talked a lot about a lot of your stories, which I think you never really quite revealed to the public, because you are always there trying to uplift people who are coming onto your shows to talk about their books, and you are always trying to give the light to other people. But you have been doing a lot of such work in your life, being a veteran yourself, and I see a veteran as a peacemaker. Americans are so important because they have to be the peacemaker or the peacekeepers, so that whatever things that is about to flare up, they kind of like stopped it for a while, right? CJ, I would like to ask, like, if your life have not been a podcaster, what would it be? And then if we had not done the international It's My Life book, what would you have done?
Gosh, that's a reflection question if I ever thought of one. Thanks, Viki.
30 hours of podcast.
I look back at how this all started. It was in 2019, and me and my sister just decided to start talking about things, and it led into where we are today. It started with me and my sister, and I was working at a college, just doing the grind. I had just retired in 2017, trying to find my foot in the world. I didn't know who I was, what I was supposed to be when I grew up. I was lost. I was completely and utterly lost. Like what the hell am I supposed to do with my life? I mean, I don't know how to work a regular 9-to-5 job. When you're in the military, you live a life of service. You just take care of people and you do things. And I was just lost, just working, and nobody wants your help when nobody cares. They just go and they earn their paycheck and they go home.
Sure.
And that wasn't enough for me. So, so when me and my sister started talking, and we were getting great feedback because she was talking about her everyday life and the struggles and stuff like that. And then this idea of the author's porch came about because I started writing my books in 2018, and it just gave me this release because I grew up being told I was stupid, fat, and ugly my entire life by everybody around me. And I didn't have good grades in school because I didn't understand what the people were saying. And if I raised my hand, I would get laughed at. So I just didn't raise my hand because I didn't want to feel stupid, ugly, or fat anymore. And I was being told these things by, parents, siblings, friends, everybody. So I was like, well, I must be stupid, fat, and ugly. So I just went with it my whole entire life and learned to become very funny about things. So I just never thought I was very smart. But then I started writing, and I wanted to live out a dream that I wanted to write. So I just went for it. I was like, you know what? I'm not in the military anymore. I'm about to be 40 years old. Screw anybody that ever told me that I can't do something. I'm going to do it. What are they going to do? Are they going to freaking fire me? I'm already practically dying. I mean, we're dying from the day that we're born, but I mean, I'm diagnosed with 3 different life-threatening illnesses. I'm in chronic pain every single day. I've already lived through the military in Afghanistan and Kuwait and Oman and all the other places that tried to take me down. I'm publishing a freaking book, and guess what? If it's going to be bad, I really don't care. So I did that, and when I published it, I realized,
wow.
and I went on to publish 20 other books since then. I realized there was not a
Wow.
place for authors. Like it was so hard for
Yeah.
authors to get help and to have their voice heard
Yep.
and for anyone to give a crap about what they wanted to say or do unless they had money.
Yep.
Unless they had all that money to spend. So I said, well, I want to create a place where it's free.
Wow.
Like I want to do something for them. So 90% of what I do with the Author's Porch was, so I needed to find a place where I could still serve. And that's basically, I said all that to say this. I wanted to give back. I wanted to still serve because I
Wow.
knew physically I could no longer be in the military. And that's why I retired when I hit
Wow.
my 20-year mark. But I still needed to serve. I couldn't do a 9-to-5 job. I found myself going into the 9-to-5 job,
Dreading
going
it.
in. I went in at 6 a.m. They were like, well, you're not supposed to be here till 8. I'm like, well, I got stuff to get done and I'm awake, so I need to work. And they're like, you can't be here till 8. And I'm like, you guys are killing me, man. I can't sleep. I got work to do, so, but yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I honestly think if I didn't go into this world of podcasting,
Yeah.
the outside world would probably have consumed me without having a
I
voice to
understand.
talk to so many
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yes. And I
What
think,
about you?
well, thanks for sharing, CJ. For myself, which part of what's your
I'm
question?
throwing it back on you. It's your
I
turn
know what's your
now.
question.
I need to know
What about me?
Yeah,
My
I need
dinner?
to know why you went into it and why.
Oh,
Where would you be if you did it?
Okay, I would like to really draw attention to my podcast and also our collaborative effort. Because there's so many people to thank and the list goes on. I think for me, I've started it with a very simple reason because I just wanted to document people's lives. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I still feel very uncomfortable because I still feel I hate my voice. I still feel I don't articulate enough like you, an author, an award-winning author. I still kind of like, I'm still jittery, right? I don't think I'm good enough. And the thing is, I've never wanted to be influencer, not in this part of Indo-Pacific, not in Singapore. Because when you are too out there, kind of the government kind of like keeps an eye on you. What's she doing with her voice? Maybe we kind of should hammer her down. So, I'm really quite careful with that. But I realized that 2020 really shifted that whole paradigm. People are dying out there. I just wanted to challenge myself to document people's lives, like in the pandemic. I had over 30 episodes interviewing people, which I hope people can actually still take time in the end of 2021 to reflect on their lives in 2021 and 2022, because I feel that we should never, ever forget people who have suffered, people who have given their lives, people who have lost their lives in this very critical, unprecedented history of mankind. We should always look back and see what lessons have we missed, what lessons we have learned, but what lessons have we missed? Have we missed these things? I feel that reflection on 2020 and 2021, that's why 2021 I wanted to do a humanitarian a book. Actually, the inspiration of the book, it really came from 2021 when I did the prolonged pandemic live on YouTube, where I actually got this co-host. I think you saw people really talking about what's happening there in their lives, wherever they are: Mexico, Pakistan, Singapore, Malaysia, America, and then I think, yes, we must bring people together. And what's the best way of bringing people together is a platform, which is a hybrid platform, whereby we can put in text, right? A links to podcasts, a links to audio podcast, a link to a YouTube video, a hybrid world like a print magazine, whereby people can come together and let's launch it. And I wanted people to talk about their legacy in 100 words, and that's where it came about. And I got people whom I interviewed to write about their lives. I also, then I approached you to be the editor-in-chief to let's have this rolled out officially, and not just do it within the group of the Facebook. But let's have the world share the spirit, even though it may not make a lot of money. But I think the cause itself, CJ, it's so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
We create the platform like yourself, the Author's Porch. You created this for all the authors to have this publicity for their books. So the magazine is really like a platform for people to talk about themselves and their lives, because I think we should give them a voice and a face.
Yeah.
In rightfully so, in these times of humanity, CJ.
Yeah, absolutely. So now my question is, when's issue number 2 coming out?
I don't know, because I'm still trying to sell the first book.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I think that, and I think that as more issues come out, then that's when more traction starts happening. Like with the Author's Porch, we just had issue number 2 come out in October, and then we have issue number 3 coming out in January. So we release one each quarter. So I think that with the same cycle for It's My Life and interviewing more for them to tell their humanity story would be a great cycle for It's My Life.
I do have a concept whereby I'll take this off air to kind of marinate a little. I think you are right that we should roll this out. And today, CJ, I also want to kind of ask you, like, what's your thought on this collaboration that we have on this Trans-Pacific?
I couldn't be more blessed to, in the beginning, I was like, well, I don't know how this is going to work with the time frame. What are we going to do? And then I thought, it's morning for me, and I'm a morning person, so I could totally do this. If Viki is good with the evening, I could totally do it. But I never thought in a million years that I would be able to collaborate with someone all the way in Singapore. I never thought it. I often look to my own countrymen because that's what I know. But then when I started opening up my eyes and realizing this world is so much bigger than one country, and our lives become rich and amazing when we start collaborating with people all around us and everywhere. Because, I've been to so many different countries, and each time, I was in Kosovo with, and the Irish Army was in charge of me when I was there, and I loved it. My best friend is, Irish, ex-Irish Army. And then, I met the greatest people that are, Kosovo nationals. And then I was in Japan, and the local nationals, theirs were great. I could go on. And my life was way more enriched when I went to other places than when I stayed in my hometown of Indianapolis, Indiana, and never went anywhere. I became a better person. So this collaboration, I would love to see it grow and see what more we can do.
Wow. I love that challenge. I love the challenge that you put forth, like, let's grow it and let's see where it takes us. I do have some things that we can take off air to talk about, and thanks for that. CJ, I do think that there's a lot of room for development and growth. Definitely a lot of people we can bring on board with multiple talents around, with multiple really good people with good spirit, with the right spirit that we can bring about. I want to talk about also, when this magazine first came, of course, the first people I approached were the people I've interviewed, right? Because they were the first, they were within the vicinity, right? And I like to highlight a couple of people. There are a lot of amazing people there. I can't even start to talk about how blessed they have been to me. And of course, one of them is Mr. Eden Liu. Mr. Eden Liu, I think you've met him. He's in his mid or late 60s right now, a retired government official in Singapore who started and pioneered to be the kind of like, he was appointed to be the principal of the Polytechnic, to start and launch the Polytechnic, bringing all the curriculum for about almost like 5,000 to 8,000 students, and bringing the whole people in together and looking at the curriculum, the software, the hardware, the structures, the building of the schools, and then even looking at linking the lessons to careers, etc. You know, he is someone that is very, very, I think a person who is so gigantic, but yet a really humble person you've met. Someone I'd like to shout out to. You know, very, very quiet person, and I learned a lot from someone like him. Really humble person. And also Professor Ko herself, you know, someone who is, the first thing that comes to my mind is that she identifies herself as a follower of Christ. She says, first, I'm a follower of Christ, then I'm a wife, then I'm a teacher. So, you know, there are people who have been, who have touched my lives, even the way they write about their legacy in the 100 to 250 words. Within the magazine. So it's something that I urge everyone viewing to go to Amazon.com, look up for It's My Life, to look at these amazing people who have led their lives in such a way that they are really shining examples to the community who do not want light to be shone on them, because they say, I'm just leading my life. I'm nobody. And like, even if I were to ask you, you know, remember the story, the comeback story, you said, Viki, what do you want to know about me?
Yeah. You know, one of the things I want to note about those two individuals, real quick, if I may, Viki, we were in the chat with them, and they're two very high level individuals in Singapore. They're not just your average Joes, but I will tell you, they look at themselves as just your average Joes. They don't act like or put themselves on a pedestal. Like, if I want to make sure I say his name right. Eden Cho, did I say it right?
Eden. Just call him Eden.
Eden, okay.
From the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, so Eden.
Really good Christian, yeah.
Yeah, Eden, the way Viki, you know, describe. I mean, if you look at his title, this gentleman is equal to someone high level in our government, and I mean, he wants to be called Eden.
He's been entrusted, he's been entrusted to so many national projects,
and he would probably policies. Walk down the street and you wouldn't even recognize him as anyone different other than, you know, his face. He doesn't talk to you in this matter of fact. I mean, he's just such a humble servant. And I was just so, I mean, I was nervous going in there that morning. I don't know if you guys seen, but I was dressed up. I had my hair done. I was like, we've got, you know, these people, these high level. So that morning I was like, okay, you know, because if it was our government people, boy, you better be on. But they were just humans first. And I was just like, I want to be them when I grow up. And the professor, she also is high level. And I will tell you some of the professors over here who, you better call me Dr. So-and-so. I was like, so it's so different to be in the same room with such humble individuals.
Yeah.
I was beyond blessed. And I thought, that is humanity.
Yeah.
And they never once spoke of themselves of a high level. They just spoke about humanity. And I was like, yes, this is what it was about. So I was extremely, extremely impressed with those two individuals, more than most people that I ever come in contact with. So,
you know, CJ, thank you for those kind words from my fellow Singaporeans. But, you know, that's why this is another shout out and another advertisement for Singapore. But, you know, CJ, I would like to invite you and your family to come on to Singapore. And you're right. And I would like to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, you will see people like that wearing their shorts or their slippers, their beach wears, even though they have done a lot of things in my lives and they were just being themselves. And this is how Singapore is. People who have done things, but at the end, we know who we are. At the end, we know, Eden, a good Christian, he's now serving in the church as a retired, one of the church members as a retired servant of the church, one of the largest churches here. He's giving his service to build up nurseries, schools for the kids, in the church. People who give their lives and they think nothing about themselves. And I think, like even Professor Ko herself, people really feel that sense of service, serving humanity. And I don't think someone like yourself or even Annette or Ralph or even Dr. Moby, they think that, they are any bigger than any of us because, we are people who are serving. Let's talk about a doctor and a frontline. Their work are great. I mean, let's talk about a nurse. Can you imagine? Nurses are paid peanuts, but they're doing great work. They're not doing the work that everybody can take. I can't be a nurse. Come on. It's
no, I couldn't.
You know what I'm trying to say? People never think highly about their lives because they are serving out there. And I think your job and my job, CJ, is really to put this platform up. And my job is to market it up. My job is to bring it light so that people can see there is existence of this magazine or this hybrid platform. I call it hybrid because you can have text, you can have a link to the audio, you can have a link to a video. You are in a virtual world right now, right? Do we cover everything, CJ? Print, audio, video, and very soon hologram. So we are in everywhere. So my job as the creative director and also the marketer, I would like to bring light to this, and then to have people being to be able to reflect the light on these people who are featured. So that's our job, CJ. So that's why even today we're having this bilateral interview. It is so important to really talk about the importance about our job, CJ, as podcasters. People don't understand. We are not paid to do any of this. And we devote our time because it comes from the place of passion, the place of meaning that that you're doing something worthwhile for others. And it's also doing something good for your heart. So I'm not saying that I'm not benefiting from this. I mean, I tell you, CJ, I've benefited so much from developing the magazine because I learned to put up a magazine in Amazon, which was like really quite something. Different from putting up a book. And then I learned about design. I learned about going deeper. And I'm doing my I've signed up for a full-time diploma course in digital marketing. So it's all going to be in this holistic ecosystem that I hope will bring forth fruits at every touch point. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be progressive. It's not going to end, but it has started. So I think, CJ, like what I have done to roll out this magazine for the launch in the International Dialogue for Humanity, we really have brought people, not a lot, there were just like 10 of us, there were about 21 people featured in the magazine, but there were about 10 of us, but we get the conversation started, CJ.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere in order for it to grow. And like I posted yesterday, I posted a picture, and then in the words said, it's okay to grow slow as long as you keep growing. And that is for everything, regardless. In life, you have to keep growing. You have to evolve and you have to learn along the way because nothing is perfect. Nothing is going to be easy. And it's okay to fail because with every failure, you learn and you grow from that, because a failure isn't a stopping point.
Yeah.
A failure is a moment of growth.
Yeah, and you're right. Sometimes, even when we get rejections, right? Even we get rejections, sometimes I feel that, okay, I'm going to interview this person, I get rejected. I just say, hey, no, this is just not the right time, not the right moment. It's just not today,
Yeah.
So I feel that I do feel it in my blood. I feel it in my heart that I'm doing pro now. I'm doing this full time now. I'm doing my full-time diploma in digital, in my digital course. I want to be better in my production. I don't call myself, I don't see myself as an influencer, but I rather want to produce things which are meaningful to people who are involved in it. Because, the digital world that we're in, CJ, let's make no qualms about it. This is the world. This is the world. I mean, let's talk about e-commerce. It has surpassed retail in the shops.
Yeah.
The shops have all closed down. I think you know that in America, right? The shops have closed. And even restaurants, right? You've got delivery. You don't really need a restaurant. People are not dining because of the pandemic. People are going virtual. And it makes our job so much more significant because people are sitting back, looking and spending time on their phones, and we can reach out to these people. And likewise, like our conversation now, our conversation at International Dialogue for Humanity, it is a start. And I will talk to you about what's coming up. And this is and also to let CJ know, I think you may have heard in my text that I'm trying to roll out something in November, the third dialogue. Which is the International Summit on Humanity. Hopefully we can get people on board from certain parts of the world, just getting started, one person at a time.
Yeah.
Just one person. I mean, to me, it makes a whole world of difference, CJ. Just
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
and I. I mean, it started with me and you, right?
Yeah, I know that we connected. Just to give people a background, we connected. I know that I was working with an author and I was trying to get her interviews, and I tried to book her on your show.
Debbie.
And yeah, Debbie. And we did, and you guys did a couple of interviews, and then me and you got to talking. And then from there, it's life.
It was about Debbie, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you've got that intervention, right? So at the end, she was there. At the end, you thought you were helping her, but at the end, we were helping ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of the world.
Yeah.
I think because we wanted to reach out to someone, I think the world gave back. The world just gives you back because you just have this mustard seed, right? Like what the Bible says, you just need to have the faith the size of a mustard seed. I mean, if we have that faith, CJ, and that unshakable faith that, and that this is the right way to go, this is the right thing to do, I think God will bring the forces of the universe. And for me, I don't think I am someone who's going to be up there like the Trumps or the Joe Bidens or my politicians. You don't have to be on that level because we are touching lives of our neighbors. I mean, to me, hello, CJ, we are now in the metaverse. You are my neighbor without the physical world.
Yep, absolutely. So let me ask you this, Viki. What do you see as the future of GDM?
I love that question. I'm not quite sure if you read the latest post that I just posted this morning, Singapore time, which is yours yesterday. I actually gave my vision of GDM in the post, and because GDM people have look up there, right? Look up there.
I never know where my fingers are.
Look up there, the logo. GDM stands for Global Digital Metropolis, Global Digital Mega City. And we are in a mega city. The metropolis, the digital metropolis where people traverse, people flow. There is a huge matrix of exchange, community, conversation, connection, community, conversation, connection, and exchange. So that's what I see GDM is. It is a platform, and I would like to grow it into a platform like the Metaverse, where people like you and myself, we can share our content, our podcast, and our spirit together. We don't have to work as an individual. We should work together in a collaborative effort. And why, CJ, the international dialogue in the magazine is important, CJ, to me, is because you and I are showing the world that amongst differences, geography, beliefs, hairstyle, color, we are connected. And we can prove that we can achieve harmony, and we prove that we can work together despite certain backgrounds or certain expectations, right? You are able to come together. And I think despite everything that we have done, the marketing, I think just being ourselves, coming together shows that we are able to live together in this metaverse. And I think because of that, it may even show that huge differences that people face right now, whatever they face, that you whatever names you call it. I mean, a lot of differences the world is facing now. I think we have shown that you can live together. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not alone. That's the one thing out of everything that we can take away from what you've built here, what you are continuing to build, what we're collaborating on, is you are not alone, and you don't have to be alone. I love that. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I think that what you're doing is fan freaking tastic. Community, conversation, connection, fan freaking tastic.
We must get it in the author's pouch, like the top 10 words from CJ.
I do my best to keep myself on the straight and narrow, and keep ripping apart certain parts of my uniform off of me because I get. But so let's talk about the conversation piece, because the community and the connection come from the conversation piece. So I know that you're doing a lot of interviews. Will you start moving to live interviews?
I did live in February. It's every day. I was with 2 or 3 hosts back to back, up to 4 hours at one time, because that was like lockdown, right? Early part of Singapore is still in a semi-lockdown now. And I would love to do live, but my job, to answer your question, GDM, is I would love to be the platform, be the people beside, or move aside, or move behind, to give this space, the GDM, like a platform whereby people can exchange conversations, content, podcasters for collaborators. You can collaborate with Dr. Moby. I can collaborate with you. I can collaborate with Dr. Moby. I can collaborate with Annette. We all can collaborate together, in this very small a network, whereby because we have built the understanding, we've built the trust, we've built the kind of understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we know the genre. Okay, we know the brands, what they stand for. I think that's so important. Mm-hmm. I would like that to be that platform of people to come together. I love to just move aside, to be doing things to make use of the technology that we have in order to serve mankind, not to be played by the machine, but to use the machine to serve us. I think that's very important. Yeah.
I really like that. Not to be played by the machine, but to use the machine to serve us. I think that needs to be your quote. I think that needs to be somewhere in your branding. That's great. That's great. It's great. This has been great. I love talking with you, and I love talking about humanity. I can't wait to see some more interviews in your magazine. What else do we got today, Viki? Because I'm ready to talk offline about some more stuff. I've got a lot of stuff. I think we need to take that stuff offline.
Yeah, I will do a shout out. 2 things. I hope that I'm able to work on the international summit on humanity, and subtitle Heroes of Our Times, or Heroes of Our Time, whereby we can feature veterans, frontline nurses, cleaners, doctors, people just who are keeping us safe, to give them the light, to salute the work where, you know, they have not been celebrated for the work that they do. I think it will be something that's fitting to end 2021, CJ.
Yeah, let me know a date so I can start getting, if you don't already have a roster of people for that summit, we will fill that summit up. I know nurses, I know military, and I've got some custodian workers that would be amazing for that.
People working in the homes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have, you know, a lot of people have died in the homes, you know, during 2021 and 2021, and even in Singapore. So, you know, I think there's a time that we look back, 2021, you know, something that is going to be very, very significant for mankind to really remember those people who have given their service and not ask for more except for the wages to bring home to pay their bills.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a date for it yet, or you're still picking a date?
I've actually scheduled it to be on the 27th, 28th, because I'm thinking of having a back-to-back event, Heroes of Our Time, because we could have 20 people, they could have part one and then another one, part two, because we can't have too many people within a summit. Otherwise, everyone is going to be waiting around. So
November or December?
November, 27th or 28th. So I'm just, this is also a shout out to everyone who's watching. And I know that Elizabeth Johnson, hi, how are you? She's still watching with us.
Yeah, awesome.
You know, so, you know, people who are watching us or who will watch this show as it gets replayed, I hope that they can write to me a private message, direct message, to tell myself or you that they would like to be involved, they would like to be a speaker. And then with these people, CJ, Re-Engineer and Paradigm Shift, they will be in the next magazine.
Yep.
Right. So then they will, in their speeches, this is what because I wanted to take this offline, but with their speeches that they have written and they've prepared, they will be featured in the magazine because they have been selected by us. I'll not say selected, but they have been shortlisted because of various reasons. We want to have a diverse group of people. And then they will be featured and their speeches will be rightfully edited to be fitting in a magazine to be rolled out. So that's my re-engineer of getting the contents for the next issue of It's My Life. So ladies and gentlemen, watch out for that.
Exciting. That's going to be great. So doctors, military, nurses, custodial workers.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Perfect. That's going to be great. I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. I think we have a lot to talk offline of some more collaboration, some more getting things done, because that's what we do. We're always going to be connected somehow, some way.
Yeah, and actually, and the final thing is because I am actually talking to the Singapore National Library Board to roll out a segment for Singaporeans, the frontliners, but I'll see if they would like to join us, but you know, or they would just want to be a standalone event on another date, on another thing. So it's another separate conversation. But a final shout out for you and all the featured personalities. We've got particular publicity promotion for all those who are featured to buy the Kindle e-magazine at $199, up to five of your friends that you nominate for them to buy at $199 for the Kindle book, and the smaller paperback will be rolled out, and then you can always buy it And that will be a much smaller paperback at a cheaper rate, which we will announce at a later date. CJ? So today it's about the Kindle at $199.
Outstanding. That's a great price. That's a great price for a magazine with all the people at the level that they're at in this magazine. So, and the work that you put in. So you guys, Viki brings me these ideas and I say, yeah, let's do it. And then Viki does all the work. So, I won't lie. I would love to say that I did a lot of work, but I didn't. I mean, I may have looked at some sentences and dotted some I's, but literally Viki is a driving force behind 99.9% of this humanity project. And it's my life. 0.1 is me. I utilize my big mouth to help. And that's probably the most. And, what you guys need to understand is when she brought me this project, I gave Viki a hard time. I mean, I gave her the big hard facts about the business in the United States and how people can be. And I said, look, this is this. And Viki was persistent and she was like, okay, well, I got this. And then I was like, all right, well, let's do it. But this is what we're up against. And this is how people are. And she was like, oh, it's okay, because this is what's really going to happen. And she made it happen. And all these videos that she creates and all this stuff that she does for people because she believes in them and who they are as humans. You are a phenomenal human being, Viki. And I'm telling you that the world is better because of you and because of what you bring into it. And I can't make what she does. Like, I literally cannot create what she does. And I absolutely love you to death because your persistence, your drive. I'm reading a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in it says you just have to have this desire and this undying faith that literally nothing will change your mind. Viki Esther Chang, you have that. And because of that, everything you touch is going to be accomplished. And I have no doubt in that. And I'm in it with you.
CJ, I mean, that's so beautiful. I mean, I'm speechless. That's why I'm not an author. I don't know how to continue with your words.
Look, I learned.
But one thing, CJ, I just want to tell you that we've got so many people to thank. And first and foremost, I want to thank God. First and foremost, I want to thank God for putting us together. Mm-hmm. I want to thank God for carving a path for my podcast direction. And I want to thank God for putting all these inspirations, like what you say. Yes, I'm so thankful and I thank you and I accept, because you know why I accept that? Because God gave the inspiration. And because God gave this inspiration of, this is how it's going to look. Like the cover of Annette, the cover of Dr. Moby, and our cover. The cover came from you. You gave me kind of you gave me your idea. And then from there, I kind of evolved it. So that idea came from you. And for Annette and Dr. Moby, it took almost 2 to 3 weeks because I couldn't come out to give you anything. I was telling you I need some more time. And, I just want to thank you for these words. I thank you because I thank God. I can't reject them because they are the truths, and these truths are from God. And I can't tell you that I have the ability or the talent tomorrow because inspirations can be gone. Like someone can write a song today, but the same song may not come tomorrow. That's or the true. Next year. There are a lot of people with blockage in their brains. Mm-hmm. And that's why the people I want to thank most, and most of all, is just God and Jesus, who have given me all these inspirations. And when people like Ralph, Annette, and yourself, some of these videos that I didn't know how I did it. It's like, it came to me, it's like, So I would say that that's how we operate with the heart of Thanksgiving. And I thank you, CJ, for being such a woman of strength. And I see that in you, in Annette. Women who I should say, they make no apologies for their lives, and we don't have to. And because we keep feeling that we feel that we're not good enough, we apologize for who we are. We apologize we're not good enough. I think for me and for a lot of women out there, I think we got to really stop it. We really got to stop it. I think you being yourself and someone like Anna that I'm speaking to right now, I think that kind of strength, being what you were before, with the service that you've done and what you are doing it right now, and also for her what she's doing right now, I think it shows to a lot of people. I mean, men or women, children, young adults, or people still struggling in their 50s, 60s, they're still struggling about their identity. I think that gives people the light. It doesn't have to, the light doesn't have to walk.
Yeah.
It does work.
Don't diminish yourself for nobody, right? Viki, this has been a blast.
Wow.
We still have a whole conversation to have offline. Yes. So let's roll your fantastic video on humanity and let everybody go about their day, because we've got some planning to do. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Love you, CJ from Singapore. Bye.
Love you from the United States. Bye. Is ordinary people with extraordinary spirits show
people are doing extraordinary things.
Even when you're off duty. And it's
up to me. I have my family, and it
becomes the climate.
We had somebody from Mongolia. Yes.